Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Believe in Ravens podcast. This is the live post-game reaction show for the AFC divisional round. Daniel Wilcox and Matt Trigger. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online AG, the number one most trusted source in online betting. Where do we begin?
Man, disappointment. I mean, that's all you could start with disappointment, man. Super disappointing. The entire game didn't go the way I expected it to go. I mean, we were super high on this game. Just felt like we was going to run the ball down their throats, and we just kind of went with another game plan. It seemed like started off trying to get the ball to Henry a little bit, but hell, how many carries he end up with, Matt?
16 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Justice Hill ran for 8.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's not enough. It's crazy.
If you look at the stats, if you block out the final score, the Ravens outgained them on the ground. They outgained them in the air. Lamar Jackson threw 2 touchdowns, but then if you actually watch the game, there's the interception, there's the sack fumble, and then Mark Andrews had 3 huge plays that changed the entire complexity of the game. The early drop,
on the crossing route.
On the crossing route, he was on his back shoulder, admittedly, but he didn't come down with that. Then he's
fumble.
The fumble. He's got plenty of open space in front of him, and he tries to cut it back. In that situation, the guy Taron Johnson punched it out. Then
the drop 2-point conversion.
The 2-point conversion out of the entire offensive scheme, the last thing you do is you throw the ball to your tight end that's had a rough game, and you try to go back to the same well. I don't know that was the right call, and I don't. It's easy to armchair quarterback it now. They could have done a million different things, and one of them is run the ball. You could have ran the ball.
I feel like they did 100% the right thing.
Really?
Mark Andrews is a freaking superstar. He's a dog, absolute dog. Yeah, he had a bad game, but when guys have a bad game, you don't stop going to them in this league. This is the league where you keep going to them because you know they're going to come through in the clutch. So you gave him a chance to erase the mistakes he made. He gave himself another mistake. He turned his ball too early. He turned his head too early on the drop ball. That's it. I mean, anytime it's snowing, it's raining outside, you have to concentrate and watch the ball all the way into your hands, all the way in. He turned his head right before the ball got there, and he dropped the ball. And then the fumble, he had the ball high and tight where it was supposed to be. The kid just made a great play. He tried to jump back, and the kid punched the ball out, made a heck of a play on the ball. You can't be mad about that. Really, honestly, you can't. I can't anyway, but he could have went down, could have put 2 hands on the ball. He wasn't in traffic. He was just running down the field. And then the last play, the ball hit him right where it hurts. Hit him right in both of his hands. Lamar put the ball where he could only put it at. And you gave one of the best players on your team, you gave him a chance to redeem himself. And he dropped the damn church's money. I mean, he dropped the bag, bro. Like, what do you do? I mean, you have to. In this league, this is the league that you go back to guys. As a quarterback, you learn over time when your guy make a mistake or drop a ball or fumble a ball, you don't turn your back on him. That kills his confidence. You go right back at him. And he had made plays after the drop ball, after the fumble. He had already made other plays too. So you can't count on him dropping that ball at that moment. Lamar did 100% the right thing. You put the ball in the most clutchest receiver hand that you got on the freaking team, and that's Mark Andrews, and he dropped the damn ball. Got to make that play.
Do you put this again? Do you with it still being fresh? Do you put this on Lamar at all?
I put it on Lamar because he gave up 2 turnovers by himself. The first interception, it looked like it was a corner route. He thought Bateman was going to keep the corner high. Bateman turned the corner low. He turned low on a sharper angle. Lamar threw the ball up like he was going to go for the gusto. And he probably put it in a perfect spot if Bateman had kept running vertically. But he didn't keep running vertically. He broke it off like he was going to the hard corner instead of the deep corner, which most corner routes, you throw the ball to the pylon. So Lamar probably wasn't wrong for the throw. They just misread each other, and they went on the same page. It turned into an interception. Then the last one where he fumbled the ball, I've seen him do stuff like that before. That really, really, really frustrated me because that, in my mind frame, puts me, as a coach, when I've coached and I've had guys make plays like that, it's like a desperation type feel, right? Where you see a guy kind of dangling the ball out when somebody's trying to swing him down, and he's still trying to make a play, and it's like a desperation type thing. I'm like, protect the ball, it'll play again, another play, So in the games like this, you have to freaking protect the ball. 2 early turnovers, and we lose the game by 2 points. It was a bunch of questionable things. We went for the 2-point conversion earlier in the game, and I felt like we should have just kicked the field goal. Tucker has been automatic. He ain't missing like the last 5 weeks. Let him kick the ball. Let us be down by 1. And then the last 2-point conversion, all you needed was another field goal, and you would have tied the game up. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go at this thing and point the fingers on who you want to point them at. But at the end of the day, Lamar had to play well in this game for us to be great. And we had to play well in this game for us to be great. And we just made way too many freaking mistakes. We lost the turnover battle. You're supposed to lose the game, period. End of story. 3 turnovers to, I think they didn't have any at all, right?
They didn't turn the ball over at all.
Yeah.
And I do want to shout out the defense.
Yeah, they played their ass off.
The defense played their ass off. It was one of those situations where they did as much as they could given the amount of mistakes that the offense made. When you turn the ball over 3 times and you're going out there on a short field, and I believe 2 out of those 3 drives, they held them to a field goal.
Yeah.
That's still a 13-point swing. Right. And, it's tough, man. They're out there playing their best. Stevens got hurt and Tre'Davious White came in. There wasn't and I'll say this throughout the course of the game, other than that pass interference call, I really don't think that the officiating was bad this game. The officiating was bad for most of the weekend, but they called a relatively fair game down the middle with us. And I can't put any of that on the referees. Didn't put us in any position to lose. We did it ourselves, and that's
they let everybody play today, because I seen some holding calls that they definitely could have called. Against like Owe and who's number 90 on our team? Ojabo got held a couple of times. Until my arm wrapped around them, I thought they could have threw the penalty, but they didn't. So they let us play for pretty much the majority of the game. It wasn't a lot of penalties called, and that pass interference one against White, I thought was very questionable. He did get his head around. He was kind of backpedaling, kind of running backwards almost, 3-quarter run, and kind of got shoved down by Coleman. He just tripped up and fell for the most part.
Yeah.
But he didn't pull the guy down with him or anything like that. I just didn't think that was a pass interference. But at the same time, it's left to the discretion of the referee, and we gave up a touchdown, I think, on that same drive. That kind of hurt us. So
it was a 4-point swing.
Yeah, the defense played their asses off, man. I cannot be mad at the defense at all. The only thing I can say is that we didn't get any turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. And in games like this, you got to be trying to force turnovers every opportunity you got. And a lot of their yardage they got for runs, their running yardage that they got was from the defense actually trying to take the ball from the running back throughout the entire game. So they was trying. They just didn't get those ball punched out like the other team got against us, and didn't get a chance to really pick anything off all game. They was really, really, really smart and safe with the ball. Buffalo probably played one of the most safest game plans I think I've ever seen. Run. All the catches that they really threw was almost like stop routes, curl routes. Turn around, face the quarterback, see where the ball is being thrown at. Nobody can really get to the ball but you.
All chain movers.
Yeah, a lot of safe throws, man. And you got to take your hat off to them. They played with the league the entire game. They really didn't have to force anything. It really wasn't pushed to have to try to push the ball downfield. And then they did push it downfield a couple of times, and the guys was running wide open, and they missed a couple throws too. So, we got to do better, man. That's all. And then else to say, we had a hell of a season. We learned a lot of lessons throughout this entire season. This is a game that we should have had. And could we have had a better game plan? Hell yeah, we could have had a better game plan. But you really don't need one. Just turn around and get a ball to 22 and 43. They as many yards as they had combined, we could have just ran the ball the entire game and still been fine. That could have got rid of half your turnovers. The pick with Lamar, the fumble with Mark, and the fumble with Lamar. That would have got rid of all 3 of those plays if you just run the damn ball. So at the end of the day, Derrick Henry didn't get 20 touches. Every time he get 20 plus touches, we win the game. So if you don't give him 20 touches at this point, it's almost like you didn't want to win it. That's all I can say.
It's really. Here's what's the toughest thing for me though, Daniel, and I've been trying to find the words to say without being overly critical of anybody, and trying to remain steadfast in the approach of this show. You had the most prolific offense in the history of the NFL this year. One of the most prolific offenses to ever step foot on the football field. And the way you were playing teams the last 6 weeks where you're just dominating them. And I get it that none of them were Buffalo. And to me, Buffalo isn't
no
like
different.
we could have won this if we don't turn the ball over, we win this game easily by a couple touchdowns because we 2 of our 3 turnovers were in scoring position. And it's at least 10 points right there that we left between the Lamar fumble and the Andrews fumble alone. You know, that's a 10-point swing. We win this game and it's a completely different story. It's all coulda, shoulda, woulda. But this is this I feel like this offense was wasted on the most inopportune timing, it seems like ever. This hurts. This isn't last year hurts, but this hurts, dude. This is going to be a tough one to deal with because again, you don't know what this team is going to look like in 2025. You don't know who's coming back. You don't know who's going to be here. You don't know if Todd Monken's going to be gone. You don't know what's going to be going on, Daniel. So this is like we've wasted 2 prolific years from Lamar, and admittedly, it's a lot of this game is on him as well.
Yeah,
but where do they go?
I don't know, man. I feel like in games like this, you know, you want the ball to be in the hands of your stars, and the way we came out, I felt like we was trying to throw the ball a bit too much early on. I mean, you had a drive last week where you ran the ball 13 times, scored a touchdown, or 15 times and ran a touchdown on one drive. And I don't understand why there wasn't a game plan. Like Josh Allen can't beat you if he's not on the field. So the game plan for me is to keep Josh Allen off the field, control the clock as much as possible, protect the ball, put the ball in the hands of the guys that run the ball more than anybody. Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, those type of guys. And then when they start coming up to try to load the box up 9 to 10 guys, then you throw the shit over their head. So I don't understand, where we, why we came in and tried to do what we tried to do. Like it's just, to me, it don't make sense. Like to me, Derrick Henry should have touched the ball 16 times the first half.
Right.
And Justice Hill, the way he was running the damn ball, he ran the ball like a madman. He was on a mission today. Like you could tell the way he ran the ball today that he wanted every damn bit of this win. He ran the ball probably hard as I think I've ever seen him run the ball. So when you see somebody that has the hot hand like that, you give it to him because now him running the ball is going to set off. It's going to throw off the tempo and the temperament of the defense even more. So now when you get a ball back to Derrick, it's going to be right back downhill. And when you started seeing Derrick going downhill on those guys again, it's like, what were we thinking not to just continue to feed them? Feed those 2 dudes, man. I just don't understand why we ain't run the ball this game 40 times.
The first 2-point conversion bothered me because you ran the ball down their throat that entire drive.
And then
Derrick Henry's picking up. He had a run of 20, I think another run of 11. He ran for majority of his yards in that drive alone.
Yeah.
And then I understand Isaiah likely was open, but you have that defense spread out. RPO. Put the ball in Henry's gut, and if that's there, let him run with it. If it's not, take off. You have the speed to beat everybody on the edge. So to me, that was a questionable call. And then you said it was a good decision for the game-ending 2-point conversion. It just seems like they could have done a whole lot of different things differently. They could have run a bootleg. They could have run a play action. They could have done something because Lamar, with the ball in his hands, I understand he had 2 turnovers, but he still led a game-tying drive. He still scored. He still scored. He still took the team down the field, and it wasn't like we got down there by accident. He made the play.
Yeah.
He made a beautiful throw to Isaiah likely.
Yeah.
He
the
did
whole
what was
drive.
necessary.
He made great throws the entire drive. The entire drive,
right.
He threw the ball
and
well.
Then he like the most underrated play of that drive, a lot of people don't realize is
the Tylan Wallace catch.
Not the Tylan Wallace catch. It's the Justice Hill play where Lamar had the defense closing in on him. He dumps it off for a simple 5-yard gain. It kept the chains moving, and that's what opened up the Tylan Wallace play the very next play.
Yeah.
So to me, he was doing everything that he possibly could. on that last drive. But the thing is, as always, 3 turnovers. You're not going to win. You shouldn't win a game with 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
And you can't fault the defense. They did everything they could. Like you said, Buffalo played a safe offensive game plan. They played a lot of they ran a lot of chain moving plays, and it's unfortunate that we just didn't get it done. And I feel like this is going to be a very tough offseason because some choices are going to be made. Some guys are going to have to be let go. Some guys are going to have to move
Very
on.
true.
You
Very
know,
true.
you don't want to think about that in the immediate aftermath of the game, but there's no more season. These guys are, the guys that choose to opt to go to the Pro Bowl are going to go to Miami in a couple weeks for it, and then it's the off season. You got to prepare for the draft. It's really difficult to swallow. Like, these dudes take years off my life, man. This is absolutely crazy. They stress me out.
I just got a text from one of my teammates. One of my teammates, Henry, had 16 carries, not enough touches, and we shouldn't have went for it and went for 2 in the third quarter.
Where was that from?
One of our teammates. I don't want to throw him under the bus because he'll know we're live right now, and he's not saying this, but one of my teammates just texted me that, Henry had 16 carries, not enough. We shouldn't have went for 2 in the third quarters. I just finished saying the exact same thing. If you don't go for 2, then you let Justin Tucker come up. We down by 1 point. I think it would have been 20-21 or something like that.
And
then you come back and you score like we just did. Now we only down by 1 point. You kick the field goal again, you at least tie it. Or you go for 2 and win the damn game. And then you give them you kick the ball instead of having to do the onside kick. You kick the ball full length of the field. Now they got to go to full length of the field to try to come down here and score. Anything could happen. They could throw a pick, they could fumble the ball, you script fumble. It could be anything. Or they can come back down and score and win the game themselves. But at least you put yourself in a situation at the end of the damn game, man.
It's yeah. Here's the thing that's crazy. Somebody brought this up on actually in one of my group chats. The Ravens have run that exact play on a 2-point conversion 3 separate times in the postseason.
Yeah.
And Mark Andrews has dropped every single one of them. He now has 7 career drops in the postseason. For how many games he's played in the postseason? 7 drops.
He had 2 drops a day. I mean, that shit was
2 today.
2 crucial drops, man. Shit, that first one stopped the drive.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
You got to feel bad. But here's the thing about Mark Andrews. I know you're going to think this is absurd.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
But do you think the team has a tough decision to make with him, even though he's still a superstar? He saves the team almost $12 million if they cut him after the season's over. And do you think that they invest in Isaiah Likely and some other key positions instead of holding him for a potential cap hit of?
Is he up right now? Is Mark up right now?
Last year of his contract. He's making $17 million next year. If they designate him as a post June 1st cut, that's $11 million off our cap. And it's only $5 million in dead money.
It's a hard decision to make for the actual front office, man. When you think about it, like, he's always been Lamar's favorite target. You get rid of him, now you get rid of your quarterback's best target or his most favorite target since he's been there. It's a tough decision to make. At some point you got to move on from everybody. So, I'm gonna leave that up to the front office to make that decision. But I think if it's me, with Isaiah Likely, Kolar back there, there's some other hot tight ends coming out, young guys. There's some free agency stuff coming up as well. I think you got to weigh all your options and try to figure out what you want to do, in that department. I know you got to try to figure out a way to keep Henry for another year. I would definitely do that. You got to keep Justice Hill. He just got a contract extension, so he's locked in. Keaton Mitchell, you still got at least another year with Keaton. So I mean, I don't know, man. I would play it by ear, I guess, and try to figure this thing out. But I would definitely go back to the drawing board and figure out who's expendable. How much they helped us this year. What would have been better if we had somebody else in that spot this year, and just kind of weigh your odds and your options out, and then see what's on the market, man. If you can get some more explosive, get another explosive tight end to come in, maybe, not necessarily replace Mark, because when you got great guys, dog, it's hard to just replace them. You got to bring in 2 guys to replace that one guy, so you just have to figure that out. I mean, hell, likely had another great game today, man. You
He
know,
did.
so it's
He's
it's
showing
kind of
that he can be tight end one, even
yeah,
though Andrews is still that still that. But
yeah,
we have other decisions we have to make. There's Marlon Humphrey. Are you going to
yeah,
extend him? Ronnie Stanley's a free agent, and he just had his best year since his original contract extension.
yeah. I don't know
Are
what you
you
do about that either, because he was hurt for most of the damn contract that you signed him to. You
correct? And
know, so
then the last 2 years that he's been
healthy
making crazy money, he's been healthy and he's been playing at a seemingly
Pro
Pro
Bowl level.
Bowl, all pro type of level. So
Yeah,
do you chance having a new left tackle
I don't
protecting
think
Lamar
so.
next year? So you get now that's where the money comes in. If we don't, you're gonna have to cut or trade Marcus Williams to get off of that money. You're gonna have to figure out something with Andrews. You're gonna have to figure out something with Marlon. You're gonna have to restructure Lamar to
You got some
make
tough
the
decisions to make, baby.
and it's crazy that we have to think about this. 3 nights ago, we're talking about
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
I'm sick right now, bro. My
And,
stomach been hurting this entire fucking game. I
yep.
don't know if it was something I ate or if it's just the game that making my stomach hurt. Hell, my stomach didn't hurt when I fucking played. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here watching the game and my stomach's hurting like
My
like
I
the very damn game. Damn,
I did not eat a single thing during the game. I usually don't have a problem eating during Ravens games, but I did not eat a single
bro.
thing during
I've
that
been
game.
sitting here drinking this damn ginger ale the entire game. I
Yeah.
ate earlier today. I
I
only ate
didn't
one
touch
time today. I drank this ginger ale almost the entire game because my stomach's been killing
my
me since that first freaking turnover we had. Shit.
my nerves started getting jittery around 6 o'clock. My wife's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
Sick to
I
my
didn't I
damn
didn't
stomach.
I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. But after that first drive, I'm like, "Okay, here we go." And then they scored and punched us right back, and I'm like, "Okay, this is gonna be a boxing match. This is gonna be a heavyweight contender fight." And then the interception, and then the fumbles, and the hmm, the I don't know, like, the Lamar interception was bad.
Both of
I'll
them, shit.
They
Both
were
of them was
both
bad.
bad, but
He was even Andrews was bad too. All of them. They
I
was at crucial times of the game. All of
I
them.
wanna say that Andrews' fumble in the middle of the field is the worst of all 3, because we were moving the ball and we were if Lamar like, I can't say what's in the mind of Mark Andrews, and I know that you've been in this situation probably a million times over, but looking at the play, if Andrews just does his typical catch the ball and fall,
Yeah.
instead of trying to he's not a shifty, explosive guy. He's a sneaky getting loose in coverage kind of guy.
Yeah.
And it's like you're trying to make a play in the open field and you got a fast,
Yeah.
aggressive defense, and it's just like, oh my lord. When that ball hit the ground, I was like, there's no way. I I,
Yeah.
I walked away from the television. I had no like
Bruh.
that sucked the air right out of me.
I felt like a coach sitting up in the press box on that play. I was like, damn it, Mark. I jumped up like, damn, like what the hell? Like I was freaking pissed, bro. Then I was like, man, I'm tripping. Like, what am I doing right now? Like, I literally felt like a coach up in the press box watching that damn play. And I understood where Mark was coming from because of the fact that the entire game was stressful for us. It wasn't stressful for the Bills because they're at home. Like it's so loud on offense. Like even if you just go back and watch the footage of when you see them get in the huddle, when they got in the huddle, there was no formation to the huddle no more. Everybody was balled around Lamar trying to stick their head in there just so they could try to hear the play because it was ridiculously loud. So when you got up to the line of scrimmage, you couldn't hear the snap count. You couldn't hear anything. Lamar was walking up to the line of scrimmage, trying to get the plays in, let everybody know what they're changing to and stuff. It was a miserable environment to play in. It was freezing cold. You couldn't hear shit, so you was making mistake after mistake after mistake. Even the corner route with Bateman, I felt like they could have had something to do with the noise in there, him not understanding to keep the damn corner high, and breaking it off low. So it's just, that type of interception we haven't seen that interception all year long. And now we had it this game, so the environment was crazy. It was a crazy environment. The players was playing with a ton of excitement. There was a lot of, talking to each other in each other's face, talking crap to each other, a couple of cheap shots here. There was a lot of holding going on.
Yeah.
It was a physical game. Buffalo came. knowing they had to be physical. Go ahead.
The refs let a lot of shit go. We talked about that earlier in the game.
They let us play. They let us play. I love it.
I'm saying like a lot of the chippiness after the play was over. I mean, Ronnie Stanley slammed the one dude into the referee, and there was no flag. Lamar got hit.
Well, he didn't. If you watch that play right there too, it was another flop play. That guy he pulled Stanley down on top of him. Stanley went to push him, and he grabbed him.
I'm just saying, I'm surprised it wasn't another. I'm just surprised
it could have been, but the referee wasn't a dumbass. He knew what the hell was going on. He knew the guy pulled Stanley on top of him. He realized Stanley didn't push him for real, and the guy actually snatched him and pulled him down. But you're right, Metabuke had a push, and the guy flopped on that one too. You know, it was a lot of that flopping shit going on in this game. If you watch the game closely,
it was. I don't want this to sound like sour grapes because of the outcome of the game.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I still don't see what the big deal is with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I don't see what the big deal was. He was 16 of 22 for 127 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he had 20 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns. Like, to me, they capitalized on turnovers more than Josh Allen beat us. They just played better when the ball was when they got the ball down in the red zone. And I'm not saying that's just because, but Josh Allen had 147 combined yards. And to me, like this is the MVP that they're talking about, and they're probably going to give it to him based on the outcome of this game.
He deserves it. Give it to him, bro. It is what it is. Hell, we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
We didn't do what we were supposed to do. But
it's kind of hard to tell from a game like this, Matt. They had to lead the entire game, you know. So what he had to be was a game manager for the whole game. He didn't have to do no dynamic super.
He barely did that. I mean,
they didn't have no turnovers, bro.
Yeah, I know. They played a very conservative game.
Yeah, our MVP had 2 turnovers this game. Okay.
Yeah.
Their MVP didn't have no turnovers. They played a very conservative game. They played a very smart game. They was nickel and dime. They took whatever they can get. They did not try to force anything. He did not try to force anything. There was no balls even close to being intercepted this game. Think about that on our standpoint. Can you think of one play that one of us got our hands on the ball and almost picked it off? I can't think of one. I can't think of one. So he did exactly what he was supposed to do in a leadership role and with playing with a lead the entire game. Don't give you a chance to turn it over. We turned the ball over 3 freaking times today, bro. And we still had a chance to win the game. You know, so this ain't the first time it happened to us. Yeah, it would look like it won't be the last. I mean, this whole season's been kind of the same way this game was. And, you know, just like Brendan was saying, like we made a lot of mistakes early on that we learned from. And this was going to be a better situation because of those games. And hell, it looked like we reverted right back to being in those same situations. This was a tough game, bro. There's a lot of pressure on this game. It was a whole lot of pressure on this game. And you wanted to show out and show your best. You want to show your best you during a game like this. And there was some guys that came that was fucking ready to play. And as a head coach and as a OC and a DC, you got to be dialed in and reeled in enough to know, all right, who's ready to make some big plays this game and put the balls in their hand repeatedly. And we just didn't do that enough. You know, like I said, Derrick Henry only touched the ball 16 times. In every game that we've won, he's had the ball 20 plus times. So obviously you didn't want to win this game if you didn't give it to him 20. Just the analytics alone would tell you to make sure the man touched the ball at least 20 times. You got a better chance of winning the game. You know, so I don't know what to say about it, bro. Like, and I agree with my teammate. Like I said earlier, like we should not have went for 2 earlier. And I understand the process of trying to tie it, but take the sure points and trust your offense enough that they're gonna score again, and trust your defense enough they're gonna stop them again. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying.
I agree with you, and I'll say this: a lot of the times, a lot of these fans on social media, more so than anything else, they want to blame Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh coached a good game. I mean, you can't coach turnovers and the results of the turnovers. I mean, 2 out of those 3, the Bills were in excellent field position, and the defense played well. They gave up 27, you know, but the offense has got to score more than 27, and that's on them at the end of the day. And at all times for the offense to choke and the defense to step up is a winner go home type of situation, Daniel. And I'll say this: I don't put any of this on Harbaugh. And I've been a huge Harbaugh critic the last couple years, D, and this isn't on him. Like, I don't want to see any Harbaugh slander on the timeline.
Only thing I can say, we ain't run the damn ball enough. And sometimes when you the head coach, you're the only person that can make that happen. You know,
you're right.
So I can remember being on the sideline and hearing Billy say, "Run the damn ball" on the headset.
Yeah,
stop throwing the freaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, run the damn ball. Like, you got dogs back there in the backfield. Run the damn ball. Shit, man. Run the ball, man. Damn, I said the same thing last year in the AFC Championship. Run the damn ball. You're the number one rushing offense in the league, bro. Run the damn ball.
At least this wasn't a game where we ran the ball 6 times. I mean, Justice Hill had 6 carries alone for 50. And if you combine that with the 16 from Derek, that's 22 carries to the running backs. And that's generally a good omen, especially in a situation where it's snowing, it's cold, you know, a lot of the passing game isn't working. But like you said, these turnovers kill us. And on all 3 of those turnovers, there's Derek's 4 carries right there alone that's going to get him over that 20 carry mark. It's unfortunate that it happened this way, but that's a wrap on the 2024 Baltimore Ravens season. A lot of wounds to go lick, and a lot of things that are going to have to be, tough to watch in the aftermath of this. But before we go, Daniel, I will say this: I would rather see a Mahomes three-peat than see Josh Allen win a Super Bowl. I'm a hater, and I'm gonna be a hater forever. I would rather see Mahomes go and win in a third, or I would rather see that kid Jaden Daniels get a Super Bowl before I see Josh Allen get one, because that's just the hater in me. But that'll do it for the show, Daniel.
Yeah.
Let everybody know where they can find you that's following along live. We want to thank everybody for the comments and for following along and tuning in to the final post-game reaction show for the Believe in Ravens podcast. Daniel, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on X, man, at Coach Wilcox. You can find me on IG at Daniel.Wilcox. And I appreciate you guys for watching all season long. We had a heck of a season this year. Had a bunch of great guests on. It's been a phenomenal season for the Baltimore Ravens, where we fell short, 1 game short of the ultimate goal. Hopefully it will be better in years to come, man. And it's been fun, man. Matt, I've enjoyed you all year, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Tell everybody where to find you at.
Everybody can find me on Instagram at mtrig89. You can find me on X at mtrig_bir. On Facebook, you can just look up our names, and we interact with all of our listeners and their fans. You can find us there. That'll do it, folks. We'll be back a little bit later in the off season to start the off season coverage of the Baltimore Ravens going into the 2025 year. That is a wrap.
Bird Gang out 2024.